So when I grew up, my dad was Christian and my mom was Catholic. And Dad taught me about God, and he would read the Bible to me when I was really little, and he'd teach me how to pray. And he did this with my sister, who was 4 years younger too, but not as much. I don't know if he started I don't know the full story. I don't know if he started falling away from the church when my sister was born. All I know is I learned how to pray. I learned how to kind of, reasons why I, believed in God and things like that. So when I was growing up, I would pray for a lot of things, and I'd pray every night on the side of my bed very faithfully until I sometimes would just fall asleep while praying. And it seems like a lot of prayers got answered. I mean, there were prayers like when my dog died, I wanted my dog back. There are some prayers that I guess God can't answer in this time. And that really upset me. So, dogs and animals are like my best friend, because that's what I had to grow up with. I didn't really live in a neighborhood where there were kids. So when there are times like that where prayers aren't answered, sometimes you kind of question. And then I got older, and we weren't really talking about God as much in our family. And my mom stopped becoming Catholic, and she just, I think, is now agnostic. And Dad just didn't really talk much about God. So I went into middle school, high school, all of that jazz. And I didn't have the worst of friends, but they weren't the best of friends either. And they were getting into things that I kind of knew I shouldn't be getting into. And sometimes I would do it. And I'm not going to get into what some of that stuff is. And then other times I was like, nah, you guys are doing stupid stuff here. So throughout this time, I didn't really, I still prayed as a backup kind of, hey, God, can you just keep me safe? Can you just make sure that I don't die doing this stuff, or, I don't get the cops called on me doing this stuff. And I really have to say, yeah, I'm sure God answered that prayer, because there were definitely times that me and my friends were doing things that were mad sketch, and we didn't get in trouble for it. And I never gotten hurt, so I'm very glad about that. So anyways, I wasn't really very close to God during this time, besides just praying as a backup. And around this time is when I met my fiance, Tim, and when we were actually starting to talk, we were talking about God, and that's actually how we became closer friends, because we had conversations about God, and he was able to point things in the Bible for me that even Dad couldn't do, and answer questions that I didn't even know were in the Bible, because I actually never even cracked open the Bible except for a children's Bible up to this point. And so he gave me hope that God really is real, and there really is stuff to back up the Bible, and there's reasons to believe what we believe, and good reasons to believe. So during this time, I had to find a college to go to, and I am an art girl. I did painting, drawing, ceramics. My fiance and I met in ceramics class, and then photography. So I knew I was good at what I did, because all of the colleges were here, we'll give you this scholarship, and we'll give you this scholarship, and all of our teachers, we had a really good art program in my high school, and all of our teachers were on us, because they knew we were gonna, amount to something good, and that gave me hope. So I ended up going to Maryland Institute College of Art, because they gave me half, scholarship off, and a full ride, summer abroad thing, and I went to Africa with that. And that was in Baltimore, Maryland. It's the fourth top fine arts college in the nation. I hated it. The people there were not personable people. They didn't really like to talk, it seemed. They weren't very friendly. The area of Baltimore was a really, really sketchy area, which is another reason why I'm saying I believe God exists and was watching over me this whole time, because I was willingly, openly, by myself, without even telling people where I would go, walk into the ghetto parts of Baltimore to photograph. and definitely got names called at, for that by the people there who were not very happy to see a white girl. And so there was just a bunch of, it was Baltimore is a bad area, and we'd always get text messages saying like, hey, don't go down this street because somebody's beating cars up with a bat and smashing windows through, or hey, so-and-so just got a gun to their head, so just keep your eye out for a guy that looks like this. So it was a horrible area. Also, the teachers were really believing things that I did not agree with or condone, and you had complete freedom over there. You could, do anything you wanted. Nobody kept tabs on you. So it was a dangerous area all around, like mentally, physically, spiritually. I was really alone. I didn't really have good friends there. So during this time, I was praying really hard, like, God, can you please get me out of this place? Like, I need to go, or I'll quit college. I need to go somewhere else. I can't do this. I don't even see how this is going to help my career. And during this time, my fiance was looking for a physical therapy college to transfer to, and he wanted to go to this college in Michigan called Andrews University, and it was a Seventh-day Adventist college. And I thought he was crazy to want to go. We're from New York. Why are you going to go to, where is Michigan? Like, who even knows about Michigan? So when we did go to check out the school for him, I ended up loving their photography program. And like, my parents were like, wait a minute, so you want to go to Michigan now, Nina? Oh, you're just going for this boy. Like, you don't know what you're doing, and you're wasting our money, to go and to, jump on a limb to take this opportunity that you have no idea will even work. It's a strict religious college. Do you even believe everything that they believe? And won't you be different, than everyone else because they probably grew up in the church and you didn't? And so and all of my teachers were like, what are you doing? Like, do you know how lucky you are to be at this all-arts college, and you want to go to a university that, doesn't even specialize in art? Like, you're supposed to be eat, sleep, and breathe art. So I don't know what you're getting into, but it's because of that boy, huh? So everybody was kind of blaming it on my fiance, and I felt really confused, but I decided I'm either going to quit college or I'm going to give this a try. So might as well give this a try, and I did. And I felt like it was, I felt like I was coming out of Egypt into the promised land, because Andrews University was a much better school. They even had better facilities for photography than the All Arts College did. And I was extremely happy. That was like a huge answer to prayer, because for a year I was praying, please get me out of this place. And I was crying, like, I felt like every night. I felt like such a baby. And then I got to Andrews and I made really great friends. The teachers there really, really liked me. I know I made an impact on the photography department there. A lot of people ended up knowing me for my art there and really respected me. There was so many opportunities there for learning about God and evangelism. And I got baptized there 3 years ago. So it's just been all around, besides the snow part of Michigan, it's been an all around great experience. So that's just one example of like prayers that were answered. And then most recently, I just graduated Andrews with a BFA in photography. So a lot of people were also like, why are you going into art? Like, look at the economy. What are you gonna do with it? You're gonna be like a starving artist, that term? And so I was praying, God, can you please find me a job, maybe around the time of the end of August, and can I also find a place, maybe, closer to the city, but not in the city? And can the money, be enough money to be able to pay for all this? Like, just an idea. Can that happen? God, I'm just wondering. And I know it was really, kind of like strict. And I was saying, listen, if that's not what you want me to do, let your will be done, because I don't want to get myself into another situation like, what I did in Baltimore at that school. So, like, I don't know when I started praying for this, but not long after I got a call, and it was from an agent, and they said, hey, we love your work. We have a company that wants you to work for them in the city. what's your hourly rate, and what do you want your annual salary to be, and what can we do to get you here, and when can you start? And I was like, what? Like, what? This doesn't happen. Like, a job fell in my lap, and I've now started the job, and I've now relocated in a really great like town, close to the city but not in the city. And oh man, it's just so exciting, because everybody who sees this was like, how did you land this? Like, it fell in your lap. And I was like, yeah, I know, that was God. Because I did nothing, didn't even send out an application. They found me, and I know that that was God. So there's just a lot of things in my life that God has answered. And I'm not trying to say this is like, oh, look at me. I'm just trying to say, like, God answers prayers. And, there are prayers that will not be answered the way that you like it. And I know that's happened to me a lot. But God has answered prayers, and for me, those are some of the main reasons why I know He's real.